Last video, you watched a company raise prices 2.5 times and grow revenue 40%. Gross margin jumped nearly 14 points, but that pricing fix did something else to their P&L that nobody talks about. It moved all three numbers in the framework at once. Most owners think about pricing as a gross margin lever. You raise prices, margin goes up, and that's the whole story. Then they go fix sales and marketing separately. Then they go cut overheads separately. Three different problems, three different projects. It's really one project. It all works synchronistically. A single pricing increase can move gross margin, sales and marketing, and G&A towards target simultaneously without changing a dollar of spend in either of those buckets. This is why the 60-15-15 diagnosis starts with COGS. Every business we run through this system, the pricing fix is the single highest leverage move available, and the math proves why. I'm going to build the full before and after P&L, all three lines, and then show you what happens if you try and fix the other two numbers first instead. That comparison is what will make this click. Let's use the same company from the last video. 5 million in revenue. Here's the full picture, not just gross margin this time, but all three numbers. 52% gross margin, 12 points below target. Sales and marketing at 20%, 5 points over. General and administrative, 25%, 10 points over. Operating margin, 70%, 350,000 on 5 million in revenue. That's a business working very hard for very little. Now, if you look at this and think, I need to fix three things, gross margin, sales and marketing, and G&A, you'd be wrong. You need to fix one thing, and the math is about to show you why. Watch what happens to every single line when the only thing that changes is the price. Here's what most people miss about pricing increase. When you raise prices and revenue grows, your costs don't need to grow with it. Not cost of goods, same team, same work, but also not sales and marketing and not G&A. Let's run the same pricing move from the last video. 2.5 times price increase on new customers. The close rate drops from 65 to 38%. Revenue goes from 5 million to 7 million. Now look at every line. COGS stayed at 2.4 million. Gross margin went from 52 to 65.7. You already knew that, but sales and marketing spend didn't change either. We're still at $1 million. Same ad budget, same sales team, same marketing stack, except now 1 million on 7 million is 14.3%, not 20. That's below the 15% target. Sales and marketing is fixed and nobody touched it. G&A didn't change. Still 1.25 million. Same office, same admin, same software, same everything. But 1.25 on 7 million is 17.9%, not 25. That's not at the 15% target yet, but it dropped 7% without cutting a single dollar. Operating margin went from 70% to 32%, from $350,000 to 2.25 million on a single decision. That's the cross effect. One fix in COGS, pricing, moved all three numbers towards target because revenue went up and everything else remained flat. That's why the diagnostic starts with COGS. But to really see how powerful this is, you need to see what happens when you try to do it the other way around. What if the owner had started with G&A instead, or general administrative? Same company, 5 million, 25% general administrative. They decide to cut overhead first. This is what a lot of accountants ask people to do. To get G&A from 25% to 15% on 5 million in revenue, you need to cut from 1.25 million to 750. That's a $500,000 cut. 40% of your overhead just gone. That means firing all the admin, moving offices, renegotiating every contract. It's brutal. It's demoralizing and it takes months. And even if you pull it off, what did it get you? Profitability goes from 7% to 17%. That's better, but you still have a gross margin problem. You still have a sales and marketing problem. And you just gutted your infrastructure to get 10% of profit. Now compare that to the pricing fix. No cuts, no layoffs, no office moves. Revenue goes up, margin goes down. Sales and marketing percentage drops, general administrative percentage drops. 32% profit versus 17, and the business is growing instead of shrinking. This is why the system doesn't start with general and administrative. It's not that general and administrative doesn't matter. It does, and you'll still optimize it. But if you start there, you're making the hardest, most painful move for the smallest results. Start with cost of goods sold, and the other numbers will start to fix themselves. Same logic applies for sales and marketing. If you try and cut your way to 15% sales and marketing on flat revenue, you're cutting your growth engine. But when revenue grows from pricing, marketing, sales and marketing efficiency improves on its own. One decision, three numbers. That's the blast radius of COGS. And that's why the diagnostic starts here. Here's what I see almost every time a new business comes through the diagnostic. The owner knows something is off. They're looking at overhead and thinking, I need to cut. Or they're looking at marketing spend and thinking, I need to be more efficient. Both of those instincts are right, but the sequence is wrong. The 60-15-15 system diagnoses COGS first because it has the widest range of any single area. A pricing fix does those three things at once, and general and administrative cut does one. The sales and marketing optimization, one. And once COGS is fixed and revenue is growing, general and administrative and sales and marketing becomes easier problems to solve. More money to throw at the problem. General and administrative is already shrinking from the revenue growth. Sales and marketing efficiency is already improving. Now, when you go optimize those areas, you're fine tuning. You're not doing emergency surgery. One decision in COGS affects all three numbers. That's why we go there first. One pricing decision, gross margin is up 14%. Sales and marketing dropped below target without changing a dollar of spend. General and administrative dropped 7% without a single cut. Operating margin or profit from 7% to 32%. Same company, same team, same costs, completely different outcome. Now, pricing is usually 60% of the problem. The other 40% is labor, and most owners don't even track that number. Next video, I'll show you the formula and what it tells you about your delivery team. If you want us to build this full P&L diagnostic on your actual numbers, free scale-ready assessment, links in the description. We only take 15 a month. And have you run your sales and marketing and G&A percentages as a percentage of revenue? Drop your numbers in the comments, and most people are usually surprised.